I was producing a music video for Peso Pluma and Eladio Carrion.
Dude, he's hot right now. Peso Pluma is hot. Like, I listen to him.
Yes, so for that one, we got the call from another buddy of mine, Ovi. He's a director out of Miami. So he calls me on a Sunday. He's like, bro, I got a video for a big artist. We need to shoot tomorrow.
Oh, wow. No time given.
No time at all. So we didn't know who the artist was. We didn't know what the song was. We just knew, hey, we're going to shoot in LA. And my buddy Ovi, he had like an amazing treatment for the video. He was going to do this like out on the street, people like dealing drugs and make it very cinematic.
And he needed that exotic car life.
He didn't.
He didn't?
It was the funny thing.
Oh,
he
wow.
did not. Like,
What made you want to add that into there?
So it wasn't me. This is what happened. And this is, I think the interesting part of like talking about all of this is that we get to talk about what happens behind the scenes and why some of the biggest movies and biggest music videos that you see, this is how it actually goes down.
Right.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, I got to hear it.
So the initial idea was we're going to find an old classic car, something like a little bit like your Porsche out there.
Sure.
But a little bit bigger, low rider, you know, Cali vibe.
Right.
It's going to be like out in the hood, driving around, Sunset Boulevard, Hollywood Boulevard, like capture that LA vibe.
Right.
Dude, we start moving around. My brother C and I, we start going looking for locations. We found this location, that location, that location. We start like finding all this graffiti walls. We get the whole thing almost ready. And then like at 9 o'clock that night, we get another call from the EP. And he's like, hey guys, the whole thing changed.
Oh, wow.
Like Peso needs to be at this time, at this place. And dude, we all had everything mapped out. We were going to shoot. But then we get the call from the label and it's like, no, Peso is recording, the schedule conflicts. You guys need to be at this place and we need to shoot everything in the studio. And by the way, we need like a Lamborghini and 2 Ferraris. And it's 9 o'clock and I need to have the car ready like by 11 a.m.
All right.
So
Wow, that's a tough demand.
it is. So in this case, I was the producer. So I had to make the shit happen.
Right.
So I'm not in charge of deciding, is it going to be the green Lamborghini or the red Ferrari? I just need to come to the table with like, I got this 7 cars. And then the director needs to pick one. And then Peso needs to pick the one he likes.
And I'm assuming there's a budget.
There is there's always a budget.
Well, we got to hear about that because my buddy here, he rents out these vehicles. And so you told me that you called him actually. Right?
Yes,
you called the company for the green, but we didn't have it or something, or
no, you guys had it, so it was more of a timing thing. So I remember I was like, oh shit, like Lamborghinis, and I remember Candy Can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like my buddy Candy Can, he's always playing with your guys' cars.
Yeah.
And I always see his videos, and I'm always like laughing about the stupid shit that he does, but he's great. So I'm like, yo, Ken, I'm doing this video. I need a car. Hook me up with your people. So he got me the information and I talked to several of you guys. Yeah.
so eventually you guys got a car.
So eventually what happened is
Not from us.
not from you. So this is what happens with that. And this is the reason why I wanted to, after that, I was like, shit, I need to find a way to like connect with these guys for real, because we end up calling like 5 different vendors because we need to have things on tap.
Correct.
So like I remember I was driving to the location and I had my brother look on the phone, like literally Google exotic cars in LA, and whatever shows up first, call them. So we would call people and I was on the phone driving on the Tesla, like going really fast. We can talk about that.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm driving super fast on the phone with this random lady from a random website, and I'm trying to get a Lamborghini, and then she's telling me like, you need this and you need to reserve it. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, okay, bye. Then we had one of my agents that I always work with, Layla from RCL Models. I always hire all the models for the music videos from her agency.
Hey, you handpicked the models?
Chill out there, buddy. Chill out there.
Well, how is he saying
He's ready to go.
He picks the models. Do you handpick them?
Well,
he doesn't handpick
It's even more interesting. Funny thing, Chuck, it's way easier to find models than it is to find
Cars,
Lamborghinis.
yeah.
Yes. So what happens with the models is I text the agent, and then 5 minutes later, my WhatsApp hits like 75 pictures of like the most beautiful women you could ever dream of in LA.
Gusty.
He's gonna start hanging out with you a lot more.
But it's all professional. It's like all of these models, like they're working. So you get the call, you get all the models, you send that over. We always have like a style that this video requires a woman that is going to look this certain way for the vibe of the video, and a car that looks this way for the vibe of the video. That's all we're doing. So we send the cars to the artist, and we send all of the models to whoever's directing the video. Then they do a pre-selection. And then out of that pre-selection, we send to the artist, and then the artist signs off on like the final cast. And with the cars, it kind of happens the same. So I was going to bring one of your guys' car, and then Layla, the agent, she also had a connection of someone who had a car. So we start working on that, and we're just getting bids out because in 12 hours, I need to have those cars and those models and the location and the food and the camera, and like everything needs to be ready. So the more options you have, the better, because you don't know if, let's say, we do the whole process with you and the car is about to be ready and then something happens and then the car cannot make it. So I need to have 2 other cars on hold waiting to come and show up.
That's way of the
CJ
one.
is laughing.
If one stands him up, he's got another one to back up.
So that's cool. So eventually you guys got a car.
Yeah,
you made it happen.
Yeah.
So do you know Peso Pluma personally?
I do not. So
is he a cool guy though, to be hanging around with and doing business with?
He was insane. He was like recording a new single.
How was the whole music video vibe? I mean, was it just crazy?
What do you think, CJ?
Girls, cars.
Oh yeah,
exotic cars. I mean, there's got to be a crazy story, CJ, that we could tell.
Yeah, but I mean, this is just normal.
We'll have to check out the video.
Yeah, we got to check out the
you can check out the video. Yeah, it's called 77.
Click the link in the description.
77.
77. Yeah, I think you would like the video. I mean, the video ends up being like we have 2 strippers, we have like 5 models, we have like all of that. But for us, it's like we start shooting at this time. We need this. We need this. I'm a professional. Right, to me, it's like, we're there, the mod. But to us, that doesn't mean any. Like, I don't know.
You don't care about that shit. You just want to get the job done.
I want to get paid.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Don't we all? Usually that happens after the film is done, right?
If things go well.
Right.
You might not. That's the other thing. Like in this industry, it's very difficult to get paid.
Right. Well, my buddy Ben knows a lot of other producers and people in the film industry, and Ben, you deal with these people all the time, lending cars and renting out cars and such. What's your biggest pet peeve dealing with these type of folks in this industry? In the film industry.
I don't really have a pet peeve. I think the hardest thing is getting paid sometimes.
Right.
The invoices they tend to sit on them for a while. They'll say, "Oh, we're gonna have the car for 4 hours." It's really 8 hours.
Oh wow!
And then they don't want to pay more. It just depends. The bigger productions. Look, we had one big production with a major company.
Which car was it? Tell us about the car.
It was like 12 cars.
Oh wow!
So we had 12 cars. They ordered 12 cars. We set everything up, transportation, the whole 9 yards. And the morning of, they're picking up, I think 10 a.m., 11 a.m. They canceled because it was gloomy, and they had no time to reshoot. They were like, "Hey, you know what? It's too gloomy. We're not going to shoot."
Yeah.
And they were like, "But we're still paying you."
Oh.
Yeah.
Luscious.
Yeah. So they still paid. That's a bigger production, but smaller stuff, it takes a while. And they paid. They paid they'd pay for the whole thing. So that'd probably be my only thing. But and obviously sometimes you get calls late. Hey, we need this now. This now.
But how do you verify that it's real? It's like somebody like Axe calls you, right?
Yeah, but you could tell by the terminology. Even the employees know, like, hey, where's your CO? Can we get your COI? Can you help us add additional insured? And like whatever comes out of that, they have a pretty good idea. Most of the time, they'll want one of the guys on set. It's not like they're saying like, hey, there's a shoot and hand me the keys and leave the car.
Right.
So.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to drive the car at all.
Yeah.
And we did not want the artist to drive either. So there was one, but we needed it for the shot in this case. So we had Peso like drive around the car and Eladio also.
Okay.
So we did one of those. It's called hostess tray, where we open the door and then we put all these blankets around the door and then we mount this like thing, like our gaffer Scott mounted this like basically like an arm that comes out and secures at the middle of the door.
Okay.
And then we mounted one of the Sony FX3 cameras with a smaller lens so he could drive and then like look at the camera as he's driving and sing
and
the
sing
song
at the same time, right?